Tell Us Another One is brought to you by Mad Marco Enterprises. Show idea, concept and design by Marco Liberati. Please enjoy the show. Cheers!
Tell Us Another One, a show with tall tales, jokes and antidotes. And now please welcome your host, Marco Liberati.
Look, now it's time for our next segment, which is Joke Off. And for our Joke Off segment, we bring our special guest comedian up to share a couple of jokes with us. And it's time to bring up our special guest comedian. Please welcome to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, Mimi Shaheen. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, welcome. Have you prepared a couple of jokes for the Joke Off segment?
I have.
You have? Would you like to kick things off, perhaps?
Okay.
Excellent. Okay. Here it is.
All right. I work in mental health, and one of my favourite clients gave me this one. Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm a schizophrenic, and so am I.
Excellent. Very good. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks
for sharing. That's good. I've got a joke as well. This one's a little bit drawn out. It's a bit long. It's a bit rude. So bear with me. It's a little Johnny joke. It goes back when I was a kid. Little Johnny jokes were my favourite. So little Johnny's on his way to school. And primary school, may I add. So he's on his way to school. And as he's walking to school, he walks around a corner to get to school. And there's a prostitute on the corner. A lady of the night. And she waves at him with her little pinky finger and says, "Hello, little boy." So Johnny, a bit confused, and he goes to school, doesn't think much of it. On the way back home, there she is again. And again she waves with the pinky finger, "Hello, little boy." He goes home and he asks his dad, he goes, "Dad, I'm on my way to school and on my way back from school today. I've walked to school, and as I've gone around the corner, there's a lady on the corner. She's wearing these high boots and short skirt and heaps of makeup. And she waved at me and she said, 'Hello, little boy.' Who's this woman?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah, that's the town prostitute." And he explained the birds and the bees and how it works. He goes, "Yes, look, she services men and she provides sex for money." And he gave him the rundown. So the next day, Johnny walks to school, and sure enough, there she is, and again, "Hello, little boy," with the pinky finger. And he's getting a bit annoyed at this stage. He's gone, "Excuse me, miss, but why is it every time I walk past, you wave at me and you say, 'Hello, little boy,' with your little pinky finger?" And she goes, "Oh, that's because that's how big I think your little pee-pee is." He goes, "Right, okay, fair enough." So he goes to school and he thinks about it all day. On the way back, there she is again, "Hello, little boy." This time, he goes, "Righto," he gets his two pinky fingers. I didn't think this one through. Could you hold the mic for me? He gets his pinky fingers and he goes, "Hello, lady!" Thanks for... Thank you. I'm sorry I dragged you into that one.
No, I'm
sorry.
happy to help. I could have done your mouth and you could have held the mic.
We could have thought this through, but anyway, I think it worked out okay. I think it was good. Thanks for your help.
No problem.
Do you want to kick us off with another joke?
Yeah, this is a short one.
All right.
Is arse cheeks one word, or should I spread them apart?
It's nice, short and sweet. I like it.
It's very nice. Thank you so much.
I like the short jokes. I wish I had a short one. This one's a little bit long. I'll explain. It's not too bad. It's an Italian gentleman. He decides he's going to get up on his giant horse and ride on into town on his horse. So here he is galloping through the streets. He gets to the supermarket. He pulls up in a car park, and a guy parked next to him with his car sort of winds his window. Goes, "Mate, what's with the big horse?" And the Italian gentleman goes, "Oh, the bigger horse, because of the car breaker down. Because." And how about a big round of applause for our special guest comedian, Mimi Shaheen. Cool. Thanks for coming out and sharing our joke box. So we have Doug Chappel Jr. coming up to grace the stage at the Tell Us Another One stage. Excellent. So Doug's just finished a stint on Triple M Radio Friday mornings. He's also been all over Melbourne, all over Australia, all over the world. He tours, he travels. He does the P&O cruise ships at the moment. He has gone and entertained the troops overseas. An amazing comedian with over 23 years experience. 26 years of experience, ladies and gentlemen. 26 years in the industry. And he started when he was 1 year old, in case you didn't hear that one. So a very young looking bloke over here. So I think it's time to bring Doug Chappel up to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, have a big round of applause for our special guest comedian, Doug Chappel Jr.
Got this?
Have that?
Okay, fantastic. Here we go.
All right, Red Spot
Marco,
special.
here we go. That's
G'day,
great.
Doug. Thanks for coming out.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us on Tell Us Another One.
Yeah.
We're very proud to have you on.
Oh.
So we're going to do Joke Off now.
Yeah.
We're going to tell a couple of jokes, because that's what the joke's called. It's called Tell Us Another One. So we'll tell you a joke and we'll tell you another one, and then we might even tell you a couple more. Do you have one prepared for us?
I'm actually terrible at telling jokes.
Yeah.
I really am. Because doing stand-up, I like telling stories and I like telling true stories and stuff. But I can tell you some jokes that people have told me, like, which are true stories.
Okay.
Because, and this is true, when I actually got married, one of my uncles come up to me, and I thought it was funny. My uncle come up to me and he goes, "Oh, now that you're married, Dougie, you only have sex doggy style. You sit up and beg for it, she rolls over, plays dead." So after that was funny. So I didn't write that, so if there's any copyright, it's, that was my uncle saying that, yeah.
So I've got a joke, I was told. This is just a generic one. That's what it's all about. We're just going to tell some jokes. We've got some stand-up, we've got some sketch comedy, we've got it all today. It's a variety comedy show. So I was told that marriage is like a deck of cards. When you first start out, it's beautiful and romantic. There's 2 hearts and a diamond. And then, by the end, you want a shovel and you want a spade and a club.
And another one I heard was, what's a married couple's favourite sandwich? Honey roll over, lettuce on top.
There you are. Very nice. All right, I think I might move along now to King Charles.
Yep.
King Charles and his lovely partner Camilla. So King Charles has decided to take up jogging. So every morning he straps up his laces, chucks his runners on, and he does the block of Buckingham Palace. So here he is, he's doing his rounds, he's going around the block, and as he rounds the last corner, there's a prostitute on the corner, and she yells out, "Hey Charlie, how about 200p for a root?" And Charles is like, oh no, I won't even give you 10p. And he jogs off. The next day, sure enough, as he rounds that last corner, there she is. "Hey Charlie boy, how about 200p for a root?" And he's like, "Oh no, 10p. And he jogs off. And this goes on all week long. And then at the end of the week, Camilla says, "Hey Charles, I'd like to come for a jog with you. Do you mind if I join?" So Camilla joins in. So here they are going for their morning jog. Charles rounds that last corner and he's thinking, oh my God, there she is. And this time she yells out, "Hey Charlie boy, see what you get for 10p?" Thank you.
Poor Camilla, poor Camilla.
Oh dear.
I'd give it 20p.
That's it. All right, that's it for our joke off segment. So how about a big round of applause for our special guest comedian, Doug Chappel.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. And joining me for Joke Off today is local comedian. Please welcome to the stage, Billy Stiles. Hi, Billy.
You on?
Oh, we're
How
on.
are ya?
Hey, very good. And your good self?
Good.
Thanks for joining us today at Tell Us
No worries.
Another One.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being part of the show. How you been?
Good, mate. Busy.
Good? Been busy?
Busy,
Gigging?
yeah. Getting around, doing gigs everywhere.
Excellent. Where can the good people of the Tell Us Another One audience and people at home see you gigging around these
You can
days?
see me at like the Comics Lounge sometimes, and
Right.
I'll do clubs around, sort of clubs like this, around the suburbs as well, and
Excellent.
I do a lot of work in the country as well. So
Now, if you want to go and see gigs around Melbourne, there's some great Facebook pages. Go onto the Melbourne Comedy Scene or the Melbourne Comedy Hub. Get on there. You'll see you could literally go to Melbourne any night of the week, and you can see comedy. I think 7 days a week, and there's great rooms out there. Go and support your local Melbourne comics and the comedy rooms out there. Now, with that, you've got a joke for us.
got a joke. So a lady gets on a bus with her baby, and the bus driver says, "Geez, that's an ugly baby,"
Oh, okay.
and she gets pretty upset. and she goes and sits up the back of the bus next to this guy, and she goes, "The bus driver just insulted me." And and the bloke goes to her, "Go have a word to him. I'll hold your pet monkey."
There you go. Excellent. Actually, speaking of monkeys, I'll tell you this one. It's a bit rude. But look, I'll tell it anyway. And there's a truck driver, and he's driving along. He picks up a hitchhiker, and the hitchhiker jumps into his truck, and they're driving along. And then the truck driver goes, "Oh, mate, can you open the glove box?" Opens the glove box. Monkey jumps out. Monkey jumps over in the middle between the two of them. The truck driver gives him a smack on the head. The monkey goes over, unzips him, gives him a blowjob. Shocking, right? But impressive at the same time. You don't know how to react, do you? You don't. How do you react to that, right? Anyway, the passenger goes, "That's amazing, mate." He goes, "What's going on here?" He goes, "Oh, mate, I go on these long drives for days on end, and I get bored, and that just, keeps me alert, keeps me awake, and I keep on trucking." He goes, "Wow, that's amazing." He goes, "Mate, can I have a go?" He goes, "Yeah, if you like." He goes, "Yeah, just one thing, just don't hit me on the head so hard as you did the monkey." Bit of role reversal there. There you go. All right.
All right.
How do you follow that?
Oh, you can. You do this.
This is how you do it.
So
Cool.
there's a guy, right? He's sitting in his lounge room. He's a pretty lazy dude, and he hardly ever gets any visitors. And there's a knock on the door, and he's like, "Oh, that's weird. No one usually knocks. No one usually comes around here. But I better get it." And he walks out there, opens the door, and no one's there. And he's looking around. He's like, "Who was that?" And then he looks down, and there's a snail on the mat. And he just picks up the snail and just throws it as far as he can. And he just goes back inside. And then 6 months later, he gets another knock on the door, and he's like, "That's weird. 2 in 1 year." And he goes, "Oh, I better get it. Missed the last one, And he goes out, answers the door, looks around, no one's there again. He looks down, and there's a snail on the mat, and the snail just goes, "What was that about?"
Excellent. All right. So with Joke Off, we tell a joke, we tell another one, and we just keep going backwards and forwards. Normally we do a couple each.
Yeah.
And I've actually forgotten my next joke.
Do you want mine?
You got a spare one for me? There we go.
So I picked up a hitchhiker once, just to see what it was like. We were driving along. There was a lady. I wasn't going to pick up a guy. That was too risky. And she goes to me. We'd driven about like 2K, and no one had said anything. And she goes, "Thanks for picking me up. Like, I could have been a serial killer." And I said, what are the odds of us both being serial killers? It's a pretty quiet trip after that.
I'll tell a joke. It's a really short one. It's a pretty quick one. I've been told by others, they've gone, "Hey, Marco, you talk to yourself quite a bit." And my response to that is, well, look, sometimes you just need an expert opinion. There you go. So that's it for our Joke Off segment. How about a round of applause for Billy Styles? Thanks for joining us for Joke Off. And now it's time for our next segment. She's joining us for Joke Off. Liberati. Welcome. Take a little step over, I'll take a little step back, and now we're all lit up. We are ready to do our segment Joke Off. Did you prepare a joke or two?
Yes, I did too.
2 jokes, that's perfect. Yeah. I'll try and remember 2 jokes. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm sure we'll work it out.
Yeah.
We've got a joke that I will tell, and that's from one of our beautiful guest audience members here who contributes to the show. I've got a Maggie Brownlee joke to do as well. I think we've got one for almost every episode. She's amazing. So big round of applause for Maggie. Thank you. Would you like to start off?
Okay.
Okay.
I'll
Ladies
do it.
before gentlemen, off you go.
All 12 Chinese zodiac animals can be eaten. That's not the punchline, it's coming. Now we know why bat is not on the list.
There we go. There we go. COVID joke. It's still topical, still relevant.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got a joke. This one here is a lady pulls into a service station and her car's broken down. So she's pushing her car into the service station And she sees the mechanic and she goes, "Oh, my car's broken down. Can you help me out, please?" So the mechanic looks at the car. Within a couple of minutes, he's got the thing purring beautifully. She goes, "What happened?" He goes, "Oh, just crap in the carburetor." She's like, "Oh, okay. How often do I have to do that?" Oh, there we go. And now it's over to you, Aarti.
Yes, so
Take us
I've
on.
got this one. We all know the law of attraction, right? Yeah. You attract who you are. Yeah. And you are what you eat. So if you're attracting assholes, just don't eat them. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I've got another joke for our joke off segment. This one is from Dino Inglese. He's actually my guy that's doing all of the graphic design work for me. So this is from Dino. And this one here goes a little bit like this. So there was a lady who goes to the doctor's office and she sees the doctor and she goes, "Oh, hi, doctor. I've got a problem. I'm really gassy. I can't stop farting and they don't stink and they don't make any sound. So I do these silent farts." And he's like, "Okay, this is interesting." He goes, she goes, "As a matter of fact, while I was in the waiting room, I let go of about 20. Right? And just now speaking with you, I've done about 2. And he's gone, okay, all right. I'll tell you what, here's a prescription. Take these tablets twice a day and come and see me in a week's time." So 1 week later, she goes back to see the doctor. And she goes, "Oh, doctor, I've taken the tablets and something really weird's happened." He goes, "I'm still farting. But now they really stink." He goes, "Great, fantastic. Now we've got your sinuses cleared. Let's work on your hearing next." That's good.
That's a good one.
Thank you. All right. And that's it for our joke off segment. How about a round of applause for Aarti Vincent joining us for joke off? Thank you very much. And now it's time for our joke off segment. How about a round of applause for our special guest comedian? Joining me on stage today is Bradford Oaks, over 30 years experience in the comedy industry. He's performed at the Comics Lounge, all over Melbourne, comedy festivals. He's been on TV, he's been on Hey Hey It's Saturday, he's been on Rove Live, and now he's here on Tell Us Another One.
Actually, a famous footballer, Dougie Hawkins, and I were doing a gig, and he was driving me home from the gig, and he told me this story about the inflatable boy. The inflatable boy wakes up in his inflatable world, and he's late for school, and he goes down the stairs, and his inflatable mum says, "You're late for school," and he gets annoyed, so he stabs his inflatable mum. And then his inflatable dad comes in and he goes, "You left your skateboard in the driveway." And he goes, "Oh, you're off too." And he stabs his inflatable dad. Then he goes outside and his inflatable neighbour says, "Late for school." And he goes, "Oh, you're off too." And then he goes to school. And he gets to school and his inflatable teacher says, "You're late again. I can't believe it." And he goes, "Ah, fuck." And he stabs her. Then he realises what he's done, and so he has to stab one by one all his inflatable classmates in the room. And then finally, at the end, filled with remorse, the inflatable boy thinks, "Oh, I'm going to take my own life." So he stabs himself. But he doesn't die, he survives. And he wakes up in the inflatable hospital, and there's one other survivor. It's his inflatable teacher. And she says, "You realise what you've done? You've let your mum down. You've let your dad down. You've let me down. You let the entire school down. But worst of all, you let yourself down."
Okay, so I've gone to the dog park and I met a lady who had 2 German Shepherds. And my dog and her dogs were playing nicely, so we struck up a conversation. I said, "Oh, nice dogs you have there." And I said, "Oh, what are their names?" And she goes, "Oh, that's Timex and that's Rolex." I'm like, "Okay, that's an interesting name, different for a dog." And she's got a little bit on the back foot. And she's gone, "Well, they are watchdogs."
Oh my God. Yeah, German watchdogs. So, well, we're going to do a Jesus joke because Jesus was on the cross. And he's up there and he's, Peter, come to me. Come to me. And Peter, his disciple, tries to fight his way through all the crowd and the Roman soldiers, and he's beaten back. And Jesus goes, Peter, come to me. And he tries again, and he's still beaten back. And finally, he goes, Peter, come to me. And Peter fights his way through, and he gets to him. And he goes, yes, Lord. And he goes, what is it? And he goes, I can see your house from up here.
That's awesome. Bravo. I've got a Jesus joke too.
All right.
So Jesus is on the cross, and he's up there and he's looking around, and he was like admiring the wooden cross, saying, "Not bad carpentry work there." Didn't say it was a good joke, just a joke. Going with the theme. That's it. Our guest comedian today was one of 400 finalists that made it to our recent Melbourne competition, which is the, what's it called again? It's the Melbourne Raw Comedy Competition. And out of 400, you made it to the finals, and you made it to? The Nationals. All right. And I believe, yeah. So please, a round of applause for our special guest comedian helping us out with our very next segment called Joke Off. Ladies and gentlemen, Ginny Hollands. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Marco. Great to be here.
Great. How you been?
Yeah, not bad.
Excellent.
Good to be out here in Dandenong.
Good, and congratulations on the Raw Comedy Competition.
Oh, thank you. It's very exciting.
Right.
It was an absolute whirlwind. So, 1,400 people at Town Hall. Some big gigs, some small gigs.
Excellent. Right. And is that televised?
It is televised. It's actually currently on. Or can I name any other channels?
You can. We're here to promote all comedy.
Oh, fantastic! So
bring
it's
it on.
currently on SBS On Demand. 2023 Raw National Champions.
Look it up and see Ginny in action.
Yeah.
And of course, you'll see her on the show later on. We're going to do a stand-up comedy segment at the end. So we're going to do Joke Off. Do you have a joke prepared for us?
I do have a joke prepared for you.
Alrighty. Do tell.
So Marco, I used to have this ex-boyfriend of mine. He was in the Navy, and I really liked him except for one thing. He was a flat earther. So you could say that he had the most dangerous job in the world.
There you go. Excellent. So what you're saying is he may have actually gone off the edge.
Oh, look, he definitely thought that was a chance. Yeah.
Never to be seen again. Time for a new boyfriend.
Never to be seen again. One could be so lucky.
All right. There we go. All right. I've got a good one here. It's an old man, and he's walking with his wife, and he starts falling behind, and he thought he'll test her hearing out. So he's falling way behind. He's about 20 metres back, and he yells out to the wife, "Can you hear me?" Nothing. And he creeps up a little bit closer. He's about 10 metres away. Again, "Can you hear me now?" Nothing. So gets a bit closer. He's about 5 metres away. He goes, "Can you hear me now?" Nothing. He goes right up about a metre away from her. He goes, "Can you hear me?" Nothing. He goes right up next to her. He goes, "Can you hear me now?" And she goes, "For the 5th time, yes." There you go.
I used to live overseas. Used to be an expat. Lived overseas for 2 years in Vietnam, and it was great. I love being an expat. So good. You know, you meet so many people, but after a while, it is pretty soul destroying because it's just doing all the same stuff day in, day out. It's all just with you and the other expats, smoking, drinking, complaining, gossiping, sleeping with each other, and telling the same jokes and same stories over and over and over again. So, you know, it's quite a lot like being a comedian.
I've got another joke, and this one here it's a bit long-winded. It's about a gentleman who gets a new book, and it's about being the man of the house. He reads this book cover to cover. He's got this newfound confidence. He storms into the lounge room and he says to his wife, he goes, "Darling, from now on, you're going to be cooking dinner every night. I expect a 3-course meal with dessert, all the trimmings. After dinner, I'm going to watch my favourite program and you are going to massage my feet."
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah. And then he says, and guess who's going to be combing my hair in the morning? And she responds with, my guess will be the funeral director. There you go. There you go. And that's our joke-off segment. Have a big round of applause for Ginny Hollands.
Thank you, Marco.
Thanks for joining us.